People who see that their mind is the Buddha don't need to shave their head. Laymen are Buddhas too. Unless they see their nature, people who shave their head are simply fanatics. See, there's too much emphasis on the outside. So much so that even when you are trying to connect with something pure, something simple, something that you are on the inside, you still keep on thinking about how it all looks on the outside. What if I become spiritual on the inside, but people are unable to recognize it on the outside? Now, if I'm still holding on to my familiar self-image, can I regard myself as spiritual? For example, if you were to tell a Buddhist monk to not shave his head, to not wear the orange robe, and just practice the ways of the Buddha, he would not like it. He'll say, then what is the difference between me and everybody else? I want to be special. I want to know and remember that I'm walking the path. And I want everybody around me to also remember that. There is some significance to that change you make on the outside, but it does not extend far. At that moment of decision, when you decide to turn inward, when you stop caring too much for your external self-image, you make some adjustments to simplify that self-image. For example, if you have really long hair and it's taking half a day for you to take care of that hair, and it's disturbing you, constantly irritating you, and if it is a part of your religion to grow hair really long, then shaving your head makes sense. Because now you are disidentifying yourself with your old religious traditions and customs. You are trying to become your own individual, so you don't need to project that self-image. And secondly, it is simpler. All that time that you're wasting on taking care of your hair, you can spend in understanding yourself. Similarly, the clothes you wear. If you're too obsessed with a self-image where you project your intelligence, your aliveness through the clothes you wear, then you have to spend a lot of time picking and choosing, making sure that it's the right one. And it's endless. You can go on changing. Different colors, different shapes, different designs. You can make your life into a whole fashion show. But what is it doing? There's nothing wrong with it. It's not a question of right or wrong. It's just taking away too much of your time. In all that choosing, in all that thinking, the precious time that you could have spent looking inward is being wasted. So simplification is the only justification for a drastic change of external self-image. All other changes are simply to show off. There is really no necessity to actually shave your head. If your hair is not disturbing you, if it is not longer than mine, it's perfectly fine. It is just a simple connection you have with your own body, with your own external appearance. As long as you're comfortable, that is enough. But to change the outside, thinking that it's going to change your inside, is foolishness. A lot of people believe that changing on the outside is an absolute must. It's a necessity to change on the inside, which is not at all true. Zen says, you're not even your body. Then what to say about your clothes? It is wanting you to discard your identification with the body. Now you're obsessed with clothes or the lack of it, whatever it might be. There are some spiritual traditions where nakedness is regarded as spiritual. For example, Jainism. A Jain monk cannot and will not be accepted as an authentic monk unless he is naked. If he wears clothes, he is just like everybody else. Now that is the requirement of his religion, his community. And then there are spiritual traditions where you have to wear a single colored clothes, like the orange robe. If you're not wearing the orange robe, you're no longer a yogi. How does all this make a difference to the inner? Is inner so superficial? Can you fool the inner by just the small arrangements on the outside? No. But this doesn't mean that you should not make external changes. There is no rigid rule. If it makes you comfortable, if you start seeing yourself differently, and if you want that change to reflect on the outside, you can make some changes, but those changes have to come from inside you. It has to flow. A testimony to the fact that you are aligning more and more with life. You might start wearing more loose clothes as opposed to tight clothes. You might start growing your hair longer. You might feel the feel of hair on your body. It might make you feel like a tree with hanging branches, or the feel of wind on your body. Hair constantly reminds you that you're not in emptiness. You are living in a realm filled with something. There is a reason why once you start journeying inward, you feel like growing your hair long. Not that you don't have to cut your hair, but somewhere you have to put that additional effort to cut the hair. Otherwise, you will have no complaints with your hair growing long. It is just a connectivity. Again, this is not universal. As an individual, you might feel a connectivity to it or you might not. The point Bodhidharma is making is it is immaterial. To think that these external changes, the rituals, the traditions, the customs, and the practices that are visible on the outside is transforming you on the inside is the fallacy. No, it isn't. At the most, it is just reminding you that now your path is different. It might help you in a way that people will leave you alone. Otherwise, they'll drag you into their world of activities. It works in some ways. If you want some quiet time, peaceful time, from all the constant involvement of your family members, of your friends, attending all the functions and meetings and important events, you want to spend all that time turning inward, spend that time with yourself, just start growing your hair longer. You will notice how easy it is to find that time for yourself. Because you look so different, so odd, that it's hard for them to involve you in their activities. Your hair is drawing too much attention. So first they'll try to convince you to cut your hair short. Similarly, imagine you wear an orange robe. How many parties will you be invited to? It automatically drops. There is some usefulness, but majority of the changes that are happening on the outside is purely on the outside. It has nothing to do with the inside.